I think it's just about time that we talk about what's here behind me.
I brought you some tulips for finishing your shift.
Bulbs. Aww. Thank you. They match my pants.
She just came off a 12-hour night shift, came home, showered, and now we're gonna go drive 3 hours. Time to drive? Go pick up a bus.
It was towards fall of last year when I realized that I wanted to do another bus build. Not only that, but I wanted to take what I had done in my first bus build and do it to a whole nother level. Bigger scale, better systems, more developed design. And when I saw this bus come up for sale, I thought that's the one that I want to do it with. Now, yes, this is not purchased from the school district. I bought this from a gentleman who I admire greatly by the name of Chuck Cassidy in Denver, Colorado. And he and his crew actually did a lot of work to this bus before I bought it. Now, they didn't do that work for me. They did that for another client, and the client moved on in their phase of life and thus didn't want the bus anymore. So when they lost a client, they sold the build. So I picked it up. This is a 2000 International with a DT 466E engine in it that has been rebuilt by the manufacturer. You'll see quite obviously that the boys back at Chrome Yellow did a roof raise on this thing, and not just any roof raise. This is a monster of a roof raise. There's a 24-inch lift on this roof, which is absolutely massive. It's more than I would do if I were to custom request something like that done to a bus. But that's the way it came. That's what the client wanted, and that's what they did. Having said that, with a roof raise done by Chuck and friends at Chrome Yellow, I'm fully confident that it is done to the best in the business industry standard. And now the bus is mine to create an absolute masterpiece in. And I am excited to share that with you guys. You'll notice that there's a lot of stuff sitting around in the bus right now, but that's because I kind of use it as a moving truck in the last month or so, because how could you not with this much space? But before we get talking about this bus in any more detail, there's something else that I want to share with you guys. I now have a BB Bus website. Let me tell you a little bit about what you'll find there. You'll find build resources, tips and tricks. I'll be posting blogs that are about specific topics relating to bus design, small space design, system design, that kind of stuff. And you'll find some downloadable resources as well. You're gonna find a free little downloadable design tips PDF. That's just a quick look into my mind and the first things that I look for when designing a small space. And hopefully those tips are something that you can now take and put in your mind while you're designing your space. Beyond that, there is a small PDF with the detailed layout guide from the BB Bus. A lot of you have been asking about it, and I've finally found the time and space to design it the way that I've wanted to. So that's available for purchase on there as well. Some of the systems are still being worked on. That being said, if you go buy that PDF right now, you will have access to the free updated file going forward. So once I finish my electrical schematics, once I finish my plumbing diagrams, you'll get that sent to you for free without having to repurchase that same layout guide. I haven't made a home page yet for this bus on that website, but that will be coming as I start getting further into the layout decisions that I make for this bus. Now that we've gotten back on the topic of this bus, let's talk about it for a little bit. There are some things that were done to this bus that now I have to work with. I'm not gonna say that they're bad things, I'm not gonna say that they're good things, I'm gonna say they're things. And that's gonna kind of dictate and determine the direction that I go with certain parts of this build. First of all, they removed the back door. So there's no back entry access anymore. I may find a way to build a small like the garage hatch to access some storage underneath the back area, but that remains to be seen. They did add a custom side door back here. So there's 2 points of entry that go into this bus, which I guess for ingress, egress, emergency situations, that's probably good. That does mean that there's some space in the sidewall that is already committed and dedicated to that side door entry. So that's gonna kind of dictate what I have to do in that area as well. They've put 3 inches of foam insulation underneath the subfloor, so that's already raised up the floor quite a bit, but that's a lot of insulation and I like that. So that's gonna stay. But even with that insulation and subfloor in, I'm standing flat-footed and I'm raising my arm as high as I can. We're not touching the ceiling. If I go tippy toes, I can get a touch to it. But that'll show you how much space that I really have to work with here. As you noticed in the first opening shot, they didn't do one of the tapered roof raises up here in the front. Yes, that means that from the front angle, it has a really big forehead. But what it does mean that is I have a huge amount of volume of space to work with up front here. So whether that's gonna be AC components that's not gonna be in your way, not gonna be in your headspace, whether that's some more front headroom storage, there's a lot of space to work with right up there at the front. We will do solar. We're gonna do a beefy electrical system in this bus, which I'm absolutely pumped about. We'll be able to run all sorts of stuff. We're gonna be completely climate controlled in here. You'll be able to go anywhere, any temp, and be comfortable and functional inside this bus. You're gonna be asking me questions about layout. All I'll say right now is that I'm going for an L-shaped layout in this build. I'm not a huge fan of super long split hallways right down the middle. So I want to experiment with some L-shaped stuff and see what we can do to divide the space a little bit to create different atmospheres in different parts of the bus. Yes, at the end of the day, this is a tiny space, but it's big enough that we can create some division, we can create some separation without having everything be all connected into one room. Say you have a couple people up front, you're hanging out, you're having a good time, you can still take a step to the back and have some separate space. I think that's gonna be super cool. I've been in some L-shaped buses where there's no roof raise, and yes, when you get over to that side hallway, if you're a tall fella, you're cranking your neck, but that's not gonna happen in this bus, which is great. What that also means is that I'm gonna be looking into some options as far as doing some raised platform floor in sections of the bus, particularly the back half, and that's gonna give us an opportunity to do some storage or some systems underneath the floor. Running some heater lines, running some water lines underneath the floor, but inside the insulated portion of the bus is gonna make a huge difference in some of the system installation that we'll be doing here in this bus. That being said, besides the L-shaped layout with a kitchen and bathroom back to back, some storage on the side, and then the bedroom in the back, we're gonna run out of space for things pretty quickly, but it's gonna be how we build it, how we implement the special storage situations like we've done in the BBA bus before. That's gonna really make this a very special build. Now, that's all I'm gonna share with you about this bus right now. You're gonna see a lot more about this coming as I get set up to start working on it in the next couple of weeks. That being said, there may be a handful of you out there that are asking, who is this bus for? How can I get on that bus? There is no client for this bus. If you are someone out there that is actually really interested in this bus, I encourage you to head over to the website, sign up for our mailing list, because we're gonna be putting out ways that you can kind of get on a wait list or kind of get on like a quick list of contacts for when this bus is gonna be ready to be claimed. When I say I'm gonna build it the way I want, I think we'll get halfway through, maybe 2/3 of the way through. The systems are gonna be in place, the design, the layout's gonna be in place, and then I'll be open to taking someone on board, because stuff like colors, stuff like the fasteners and the handles, those kind of things, I'm happy to work with someone on. I don't want to sit here at this point in the build and finagle back and forth. Yes, this, no, that. Yes, this, no, that. We're going to crank this thing out. We're going to build it to the absolute best of my ability, and then we're going to find one of you that wants to live in this full time going forward. And there it is. The secret is out. I've been trying to hide this in my content for weeks now, and it sucks. So now that this is out and now this is public and shared with everybody everywhere, get excited, because it's happening, because I'm excited. If you want more information, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, but I do encourage you, head over to the website, get on the mailing list, because those are gonna be the first people to find out about anything about this or the property or that bus going forward. So jump on that mailing list. We'll catch you there at bbabus.com. And thanks for watching, because frankly, I'm buzzing about this thing. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for participating in this community and being such a support to me, this channel, and everything that I'm doing. Thanks again. We'll catch you next time here on the BB Bus. Bye.